Hello, hello, my friends. I have another dedicated candle review for you today. This is the fragrance Seaside by Country Candle. Now, I mentioned this back in my candle chat video that I did over the weekend, but this is actually the last fragrance that I have to review from the spring slash summer 2024, not 2024. What year are we in? 2025 collection. Can you guys believe we're halfway through 2025 and here I am still having a hard time remembering what year it is? But yes, full disclosure before I get into this review, this candle was sent to me in PR way back in February, I want to say. This was part of their spring summer 2025 lineup. And as has been mentioned by many ambassadors, this is the last run for Country Candle in terms of new fragrances being released. I'm not entirely sure if there will be like repours if these candles sell out. I have a feeling that that is going to be a gradual phase out, but it is well known now that Country Candle will be eventually going away. So the fragrance that I am reviewing today is in their large 2-wick format. I believe that on this most recent launch, these fragrances were only available in the large 2-wick. They were not available in the medium 2-wick. I do believe, though, that this fragrance is available in wax melts and daylights. So let's go ahead and talk about this fragrance. It is a 100% colored soy wax. Like I said, this vessel is their large 2-wick vessel. The specific pour date of this candle that I am reviewing is February 4th, 2025. We have fragrance notes, top notes, bergamot, soft fruit, mid notes, lavender, herbal, base notes of driftwood and moss. So we see this theme continuing, right? We know that for this collection as a whole, KRINGLE has had a thing for bergamot and neroli this go around. Now, what I am happy to tell you guys, this fragrance, truthfully, you guys, I don't get a ton of bergamot in here. This fragrance, as I have mentioned in a couple of my candle chats, is very much a what I would say of this lineup of like the entire collection. If you are somebody who tends to gravitate towards maybe more masculine, calming type of fragrances, maybe slightly cologne-y, this is going to be the fragrance for you. This is not a fresh fragrance. It's clearly not a gourmand. It's not even really beachy, to be honest with you guys. Now, what I will say in this fragrance, I have mentioned this before. If you happen to have liked Christmas in Manhattan, I think that's what it was called. It was part of their Christmas lineup in 2024. If you happen to have liked that fragrance, I feel like this is the summer sister to that fragrance. The differences between the two, I feel like the bases are pretty similar. There's definitely a little bit of a lavender note in here, but it's not your typical lavender, like not your aromatherapy lavender. I think the lavender in here almost lends a little bit of like a floral element to it, like kind of like a softer note. But really what my nose detects when this candle is burning are those base notes of driftwood and moss, mixed with whatever they're saying is herbal in here. It's very beautifully balanced. I feel like this is the type of fragrance, if you tend to like I said, if you liked that Christmas in Manhattan, but this doesn't have the minty note, this to me has more of like a beachy air vibe combined with those base notes of kind of, like I said, driftwood, kind of cologne-y, masculine type of fragrances, then I think that you would like this fragrance if you liked Christmas in Manhattan. Another fragrance that I will say that I feel like this one kind of is in the same fragrance family as is Coral from KRINGLE Candle, the KRINGLE lineup. If you tend to like Coral, this is a little bit more masculine take on Coral, in my opinion. The more that I've burned them, and I'm not sure yet if my KRINGLE haul went up over the weekend. I'm filming things a little bit out of order, and as of the time that I'm filming this review, I haven't yet filmed my KRINGLE or my Caramel Sundays haul. So I'm hoping that it went up. But the spoiler alert, you guys, I did, if that KRINGLE haul hasn't gone up yet, I did purchase Coral in the Memorial Day sale. And I was burning it the other night and I was thinking, you know what, this one, I really, really enjoy it. But it's not the same fragrance as Coral. Don't get me wrong. Like, don't get it twisted on this. But what I'm saying is if you tend to like kind of those, what I would say are like fresher, but kind of a beachy vibe without it being tropical fruit, coconut, sunscreen. You want something maybe a little bit more sophisticated. This to me screams more like nighttime, to be honest with you. Then this is going to be right up your alley. I actually really, really enjoy this fragrance. In fact, dare I say, I feel like this one, and I did enjoy the fresh bergamot, but I would say that I think this fragrance was probably my favorite of the country lineup for 2025. It's been a surprising hit for me. Now, the way that I really enjoy burning this is in the evenings. I find this to be just a very calm, relaxing, kind of sexy type of fragrance. And I have been primarily burning in my bedroom. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But this is a great evening bedroom fragrance. Or maybe if you have a smaller, like an apartment or something like that, I feel like this is a good fragrance. So let's go ahead and talk about the performance because I'm kind of alluding to where I'm burning this. So I've actually had this candle lit for maybe about 45 minutes now. We've got a pretty quick pull out on this one. Full like disclosure here, you guys, the weather is pretty warm here in Arizona right now. So I do find that my candles are pulling out a lot quicker just because the ambient temperature is a little bit higher. But again, we've got, the wicks are not overly sooty. They're not overly aggressive. I do find that at this point in the candle, the wicks are burning maybe a little bit more calmly than they were initially. And you will also see that I see a little bit more soot accrual around the edge of this candle than I have on some of my other country candles. I don't think that really has to do with the wicks as much as I think that it has something to do with the fragrance oils that are used. I've noticed that certain fragrance oils seem to burn a little bit hotter or sootier than others, but the wax itself is still very, very clean. Strength and throw on this candle, I did mention it in my candle chat over the weekend. This one started out very strong for me. In fact, the first couple of burns on this, it was a good solid 8. It filled up the open concept. I could smell it all throughout. Like it was pretty strong. But I will say at this point in the burn, it's settled down to more of like, I would give this probably anywhere between like a 6 and a 7. I find that this fragrance actually performs a lot better right now where it's at in the burn in my closed concept bedroom. Out in the open concept, it struggles to kind of make itself known. If I pop it into a hurricane out here, I could probably get a little bit more projection. But I will tell you that I'm pretty content burning it in the bedroom because, again, the fragrance profile in and of itself, I feel like is a good bedroom scent. And then the other candle that I have really been enjoying pairing with it at the moment is Santorini Coast from Bath and Body Works. And I had mentioned in the candle chat that that candle is actually performing so strong this year that I actually prefer that one in my open concept. It's almost too much for me in a bedroom. So I'll usually burn Santorini Coast in the living room as kind of my anchor scent, and then I'll burn this one in the bedroom, and I find it to be really complementary. The other fragrance, like I said, that I do think that this pairs nicely with is if you happen to have Coral from KRINGLE Candle. I think that that is also a nice pairing. But this is a very nice scent. I think that I could possibly burn it maybe with Sea Breeze as well. But Sea Breeze to me is more of like a daytime scent. You guys can burn candles whenever you want. I'm just telling you guys, in my mind, I'm a little bit strange, and I have fragrances that I burn in the morning, some in the evening, just like I have fragrances that I burn at different times of the year. But overall, you guys, do I feel like I need more of this fragrance? Probably not, but is it one that I see myself wanting to declutter? Also, no. I actually see myself wanting to finish burning this completely. In fact, this is one of those fragrances that if I don't finish all of it this summer, I could see myself sticking it back into my closet and bringing it out again next summer. This would also go really nicely. You know what else I was just thinking? If you have the Reserve candle, what was it, Bonfire, the one that it was a summer Reserve collect from 2024. They released it like middle of the summer last year. They were kind of like fragrances that I felt like were summer to fall transitional scents. I feel like this fragrance would also pair really nicely with that Bonfire scent. Just for some extra, pairings. If you already have this, but maybe you're looking for some additional ways to use it up, I feel like that would be a good pairing. But overall, you guys, I enjoy the fragrance. But again, for me, as somebody who is constantly reviewing new things and trying to keep my candle stash a little bit more manageable, this falls into the category of fragrances that if I didn't have a channel where I was reviewing fragrances all the time, I would consider purchasing it again. but also it's not like a top priority for me to repurchase. I don't know if that makes sense, but I do enjoy it. I do give it 2 thumbs up. I do find that the soy wax, just across the board, sometimes can be a little bit. I was going to use the word volatile, but that's not really it. It's very. It what word am I looking for? I feel like it's not always inconsistencies. That's what I would say. Soy wax in general, I find in larger vessels tends to provide a little bit more inconsistencies from the beginning to the end of a burn in a candle. And I just find myself at that point in this candle right now where I feel like the strength and throw is a little bit lower. But I anticipate that, per usual, once I get a little bit lower down, it might pick back up again before it finally pitters out at the end of its life. So anyways, you guys, let me know in the comment box down below if you have purchased this candle, what your experience is with it. I'm always curious to hear that. This is available on the Kringle Candle website. I do have a discount code with Kringle. It is Katie15. It should save you 15% off of your purchase over, well, not just any purchase really. However, those I did want to let you guys know that that discount code A is an affiliate code eligible for a commission. And then B, the other thing that I wanted to let you know is that usually that discount code cannot apply to sale priced items. It usually only applies to full priced items. So wanted to let you guys know on that. But anyways, please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.